Hi all, welcome to a new video. This is number 10 in the series of the Collectors of Important Things. My name is Sophie and I'm an artist based in Melbourne, Australia. So we finally reached double digits, number 10 in the series of 12. These 12 will eventually become my 2023 calendar, which I'm really excited about. I think it's going to be a really lovely little calendar. And I can't wait to share it with you all once it's done. The materials I used are Holbein acrylic gouache paint and also Turner acrylic gouache paint. I used a Royal & Lang nickel paintbrush, which is a soft synthetic size 0 lining brush. I use it for most of my pieces. My pieces are fairly small in general. These paintings are done on an A5 sized piece of paper. And the paper is a watercolor paper, 300 GSM cold press 50% cotton block from Etcher Lab. And I'm not sure if you've noticed, but in all my videos I use a funny array of different water vessels and palettes for my paint. In this one I have this super cute little cottagey teapot which I originally had a little succulent living in, but I transported her into a bigger pot and decided this was perfectly cute for a little water vessel, so why not? It's just a piece that I found at the local op shop, and the palette is just a little glass flowery plate that I also found at the op shop. I'm a bit of a hoarder of funny little vessels and palettes. I love collecting really interesting glass pieces or ceramic pieces to just use around my studio, to put plants in, to put paintbrushes in, to use as palettes. It's really fun, and I feel like it adds a really interesting element to maybe a final photo on Instagram, like a flat lay. It's just something a little bit different, and you know, it keeps me interested. Let's get on to chatting about who this collector is. So today's collector is the collector of climbing ivy, and here's the little story to go with the illustration. There is so much ivy these days that it is hard to see the skin. All of the leaves she has collected now cover her body. She knows every last leaf and from where it began. They are her friends, lovers, children and kin, and they all hold her together. So I think this illustration has turned out to be quite interesting. I feel like you can interpret it any way you want. You can look at it through maybe a sad lens or a happy lens. But no matter how you look at it, I feel like you can derive a good story from this piece. So as I started painting it, I thought it looked like a fairly sad drawing, a fairly sad illustration. But I tried to turn it into something a bit more inquisitory. Inquisitory? I don't know how to say that. Like she's really consumed by inspecting this leaf that she's holding in her hands. So more of a curious kind of piece. That's the sort of direction I was trying to pull it. So in the story, this character grows ivy all over her body, and she's got so much ivy growing that it's hard to tell where her skin starts and where the ivy starts. And at first I was like, oh, she's being all consumed and maybe it's like a bad thing and maybe it's like a cage. But I didn't really want a sad illustration to be in my collection, in my piece. I mean, I guess it's important to have sad stories as well as happy stories, which is why this is great because you can interpret it any way you desire. But I ended up turning it into a piece about community, about the people around you, your friends, your family, people in your past, people in your future. And every leaf sort of represents one of those people or one of those connections in her life. It could be a childhood friend, it could be a child, it could be a family member, a lover. It doesn't matter, but each leaf represents someone that had some sort of effect on her in her life, whether it was also a fleeting moment or a long-lasting moment, which is something that affects all of us in life as humans, the people around us. So she could look like she is trapped, that she is weighed down, but she could also look like she is being hugged and held together and lifted up and comforted by the hug of leaves wrapping around her body. And she's just sitting there gently looking at this one leaf, maybe reflecting on a past relationship she had, or a grandparent, or something like that. So maybe that's where the sadness comes in. Maybe it's someone that she's lost. Maybe it's someone that was really important to her. Or maybe it's someone she really deeply cares about who is still around today. Maybe it's a future baby. Who knows? It's totally up to interpretation. And yeah, I like it like that. I like that you can really put your own story onto this piece. So like I said before, this is number 10 of 12 illustrations, but I didn't mention that I may be doing a 13th piece, which will become my Patreon print of the month for this month, which is October 2022. And that piece won't be in the final calendar design. It will be its own special exclusive design only for Patreon. I still haven't decided what it's going to be. I might open up a poll for my patrons to see what they think. So if you're a patron, keep your eyes peeled for that, because that could be a fun little poll for the future. So let me know how you relate to this collector, if you feel comfortable with sharing. And if you haven't already seen the previous 9, go back and have a look. Otherwise, stick around over the next couple of days to see the final 2 pieces, plus 1. And thank you so much for watching. Have a really wonderful day wherever you are in the world, and I will see you next time. Okay, bye!